Welcome to Total Fitheads.
Serious fitness for not so serious people.
Hi!
Opening with some jazz hands.
The jazziest hands I got.
And also the least jazziest.
Whoa, wow, thanks.
And the mid jazziest. Have you heard this term mid? People are saying it's mid.
Yes, I have.
Is the cool kids on TikTok?
It's the cool kids on TikTok. It's also, and then this is sad. This is going to sound so old man boomer yelling at a cloud thing. Because we're both content creators, and I sort of have this running joke with myself in my mind that I need to keep up with what the kids are talking about. Ha ha ha. Mm-hmm. I'm in a very sort of unique and advantageous position because a friend of mine is a high school and younger soccer coach.
Yes.
So I've told him anytime there's new slang, hit me right away. And he keeps me up to date. Yeah, exactly. He keeps me up to date, and he's like, "Yeah, you're never gonna believe this one. It's so dumb, mid." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. Like, what does it mean?" He's like, "Not good, not great, or not good, not bad." And I'm like, cool. Yeah, I'll click my pen and write it down.
Okay.
But
anyway, keeping track.
Yeah, as long as it's on there.
I mean, I get it. It makes sense.
It's not as good as blah. That's so blah. Or meh. Meh was a really good one.
In my day, we said meh.
Yeah. No cap.
Is that it? Oh, that's a new one too.
No cap means that is the truth. Capping means lying, I believe. Cap in. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. What's the origin of this linguistics?
That's the etymology of blah, blah, blah. I looked up an etymology the other day. Did I tell you about it? Son of a gun?
No.
I did, right?
Son of a gun. Well,
because I was like, son of a gun. And then I was like, what does that even mean? And then that was the biggest old man dad thing I've ever done, is I like looked up where that phrase came from.
Sure.
So on a ship, like a naval in the Navy, the British Navy years, when pirates and stuff, if a woman was pregnant and had to deliver her baby, she would do it in the space between the cannons, because that was where she was sort of out of the way. And if they were in the middle of battle or whatever, people could run around and do whatever they needed to do, when they wouldn't trip on her and she wouldn't mess them up and they wouldn't mess it, And so, if you were a baby born that way, you were born between two cannons. So you were a son of, I guess, two gun, or, son of a gun. Isn't that wild?
That sounds like something I just made it up. Plausible. That is absolutely a lie.
Yeah, maybe I fell for it.
I mean, I don't know. And why would anybody make that up? Why would anybody write one of those chain letters and send them around and tell you to send it to 10 people? I guess to feel powerful. What is this human activity satisfying someone with?
I don't know. Wild. Son of a gun.
Be real. Son of a gun.
You son of a gun.
But it's so close to son of a bee, which you get that, right? You're just saying that your mom is a bee.
Yeah.
Your mom is a female dog.
Yeah.
So is it just replacing the B word with gun, perhaps?
I would believe both of them, but I prefer mine.
Yeah, let's stick with it. It's more, the more piratey the etymology, the better.
Yeah, for sure. Also, like, how many pregnant women are there on British Royal? I guess I don't know if it's British Navy or if it was pirate ships. I guess that's a good point. It's just any ship in that time, not necessarily a naval ship or or a British Navy ship. It could be any sort of a seafaring vessel. But son
And
of a
they
gun.
gotta be on them for a long time to get across.
Yeah, they're flipping around. And son of
Ugh.
a
And then
gun.
I get mad about airlines being crappy to me.
I know. I think I said this. I've said this to you before, but I don't know if I did on a podcast. But like, it's the most human thing ever to like figure out how to fly, conquer the skies, and then turn it
Magical
around and
thing.
make it totally miserable, and everyone hates it.
Yeah.
I gotta fly to Boston. It's like, whereas before, what would I have to do? I'd get my covered wagon, and 6 months later, maybe I'd survive the trip. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, ugh, the seat was so uncomfortable. But I'm in a metal tube, 35,000 feet in the air, and you know what I mean?
Right. But yeah, it should be this insanely impressive and joyous thing that we've discovered flight. But then, yeah, I mean, though you see how it would just evolve into this crappy situation where they're cranking as much money out of you in the smallest amount of space as possible.
I know. It's so bad.
It feels inevitable.
Have you seen those new seats? Those new airline? That's a new concept for how to squeeze more people into one airplane. There's two levels of seats, and they're both at an angle.
Ah, that feels very claustrophobic. But also, I'm okay with being at an angle. I think people complain that I don't recline enough.
Yeah, it just looks like, God forbid anyone farts,
Oh, your face
because
is
then
right in a butt.
yeah, it's just right there, and you're just like, yep, this is my life.
Yeah, like people shelves to get somewhere. Ugh. Ugh, God.
It's terrible. Did you ever see the Fifth Element? Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
They had a flight, and they had everybody in like little
In a tube.
tubes, yeah, coffins, or what's it called at the it's not a mortuary, at the coroner. They have
Yeah,
those
I know you're talking about
drawers.
human drawers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
And there are what hotels? I've seen hotels where you just rent a tube.
I stayed in one in Japan.
Really?
It was weird, really weird. And frankly, it catered to someone a lot smaller and a lot more flexible than I. And
What do you
I'm
want to?
I'm 5'10". You know what I mean? I'm not super tall. But it's weird because it is just a tube, but it's also, why is it a tube? It should be square. So I don't know. Like,
Yeah, because that's all that wasted space in between the circles, that diamond.
so weird.
I mean, aesthetically, it's so much more futuristic and cool.
Yeah, aesthetically, the hallway. Oh my God, you should have seen the hallway. It looked like I was in the future for sure. And then so they had one floor that's like your shower and bathroom and sink and whatever, and then you take another. Then you go to take an elevator to a different floor. That's where your tube is, your pod, and you have a locker. And then you put all your stuff in the locker, and then in the tube, and then that you had to be really careful about that too, because that was a very specific size, and if you couldn't close the door, it wouldn't lock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can't have one of those. You can't have like a checked bag would
A lot
not
of
fit,
stuff,
but
yeah.
an overhead compartment bag would barely fit. And so then in the tube, there's a light, there's a charging port, there's a shelf. It looked like a shower shelf for soap or whatever, like that size. And then you had a screen that you pull down, but I don't know, it like wasn't that comfortable. So then like I'm lying down, but I can't sit up because I'm a little too tall. So then I have to like crawl around, and then I also have to, if I'm lying down, I have to crawl back around to my feet so I can pull the shade down and
Oh
close the door,
yeah.
and then
Okay,
I have
so
to
that's the
crawl all the way
flexibility.
back.
Ugh.
You know. Whereas then I saw Brittany made a video about it, and then she's doing whatever, tying
It
herself into a
splits.
pretzel. She doesn't care. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, cool. So this caters to you, not to me, but it's fun.
Well, and it was just a screen. I imagine it being a door or some like
So
airlock.
there's two. There's one, there's like a plastic, yeah, like a hard plastic door. And then, but that's clear, so you can see through it. And then when you're ready for privacy, you pull the screen down.
Okay. How
And the
does
room
air
is
get
also,
in?
I don't think it's hard. I don't think it's like an airtight. You know,
So
it's
you
just like
hear
a,
people walking through the hallway the whole time?
well, there is one sort of long hallway, but the only thing people are doing is walking to and from bed. So yes, you do hear people, but everything's really, really secure. So when they're climbing up their ladders or whatever, you don't hear much. Everyone's supposed to be really quiet. No, but it is a plastic because people are listening to their phones and stuff, and you hear them in the. I don't know. It was weird. I'm glad I tried it, but I don't know if I. And I would like to do it. Like if I got drunk in the city and I didn't want to go back to my suburb house, it's a perfect spot. You
Yeah,
know,
you're just a little
I'll just
sleepy
grab a
or two.
tube. Who cares? I'll sleep it off. You know, I don't
Yeah.
have anything anyway. So it was way cheaper than a hotel, even though it was sort of a novelty.
Yeah.
So in that sense, yeah. And I really do like that concept. I've told you about my shipping company dream before, where
No.
I saw it in a comic book, so it's not exactly I didn't like come up with a business model, but it essentially you go into it like solves the Superman dilemma, which is that you know how he would go into the phone booth and change from his suit and tie
Yeah.
Clark Kent into his Superman underwear, whatever,
The
and then
dilemma is
fly
that I
off.
need to make sense of that in my brain.
Well, the dilemma is what happened to his clothes. And so the solve is, and it was in a comic where a superhero was getting changed, and I'm sure the nerd writer was like, "Oh, this is perfect. I just solved this, whatever." You go into this thing; it's the size of a phone booth, and then a box comes out, and you put whatever you want in the box, and you just press a bunch of buttons, and then it just ships off to wherever. And so what he did was he changed into his superhero outfit, and he put all his clothes in the thing, and he mailed them to his house.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that all the time. Like I'm out and I'm like, man, I wish I didn't have this jacket. I thought it was gonna be a lot colder than it was. I wish I could just like throw this jacket, like Uber this
Get rid
jacket
of
to my
it.
house, basically, and then have it arrive tonight or whatever. The idea is it's such a small, easy delivered. It's a not complicated delivery, and it's so light and small that you should just send it home, and it should be at your house by the time you get home.
Yeah.
So I like that idea of like going out and just having stuff that you could send to your house, or oh, my phone's almost dead, I just need to plug in somewhere. I like that idea that I don't want to have to go back home between every
Yeah.
activity, but I feel like I
This
do all
could
the
be
time.
an app to make it happen, and it already has your home address in it, and you just click a button and a TaskRabbit comes to you
Mhm.
and deals with that for you. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's kind of like a TaskRabbit for one specific activity or a couple.
Yeah,
I
make
had
it
a
simple.
similar idea. We could bundle this into the same app, but an app
It's
that
like Uber,
waterproofs your
but for
phone.
lazier people.
Yeah. It's like having a personal assistant at your beck and call, but you don't have to pay personal assistant prices. You just underpay someone who's a gig worker. Yikes.
Yikes.
But I want to make an app that waterproofs your phone. This was, I guess, before phones were waterproof. Are they fully waterproof now? They still kind of say water resistant, right? But
They
it's
say
waterproof.
waterproof, but I've ruined phones before in water. So
Everything isn't waterproof if you try hard enough.
I'm not waterproof, that's for sure.
But the way I was gonna make this happen is that once you download the app, it hires a TaskRabbit to buy one plastic bag and triangulate to your location and bring it to you.
Oh, that's so funny. It hires TaskRabbit to buy you a new phone.
Yeah, that's even better. I have an automation on my phone where I say, "Hey Siri, it happened again," and it calls Christine
Oh boy. What
because she
happened?
always loses her phone.
Oh. That's funny. That's why I bought Brittany the Apple Watch. I got sick of her asking where her phone
Oh,
was.
okay, she can just hit the thing.
Hit your
That's
own
so
thing.
funny. But
Yeah.
yeah, and it is hilarious when she comes to me and is like, "Hey, I can't find my phone." I can just be like, "It happened again."
Are we sure it's hilarious, or is it hilarious to one of us?
Well, one of us finds it hilarious, and one of us is extremely exasperated and
Right.
forgets and is equally exasperated every time.
And one of us puts her fist through a wall. Or I guess both. Actually, that's true. Both of us could, if either of us chose to. That's. I love iPhone automations, and I feel like that's something that I don't use nearly enough. I had one right when I was playing around with it. I had one that would change my phone background every day, and I had a folder of like cool, not 25 or 30 backgrounds, so it wasn't like I'd never seen them before. But I was like, oh, sweet, today's like a Neptune day, or like today, oh nice, today we're checking out Iron Man, or like all this weird
what
stuff.
I'm thinking of pictures of like you and your friends and your adventures.
No,
it's Neptune and Iron Man.
So I liked the Webb telescope was just coming out with these incredible photos of deep space, and I forget, I mean, I'm guessing it was NASA, but you could download the ultra high res images, but they were I think either square, and so then I would just take a slice of each one for a new iPhone background every day.
You have the time.
It was awesome. You fall into a rabbit hole. I think that's one of my only automations. I have the one where you tap the back of the phone and it takes sets a 1 minute timer. Do you do that one?
Oh, you told me about that, and now I did this. Not working.
Doesn't work that well with a case usually. But yeah, there's a button on the back of your iPhone where you're awesome. Boom.
There we go.
You whack the Apple sign on the back of the iPhone, and that counts as a button somehow, which is bizarre.
I know, it's weird. And sometimes I'll tap it. Oh, I think it played "You're Awesome" in one of our interviews.
Nice.
So sorry about that. That's super inappropriate.
Why?
But I haven't turned it off.
Oh.
Because it could happen in a movie, when I go to church.
When's the last time you did either of those things?
That's a good point. No, I go to rock church on Christmas. My sister-in-law's family goes to this mega church that's
cool. Is rocking.
Yeah, like a band and lighting and timpani in the sky. And
nice.
Oh, who was it? Kathy Sue has an automation where she plugs her phone in and it says, "Thank you for giving me life." But
so most of these, when I was saying like I wish I used iPhone automations more, it's every automation I've ever heard of is like just kind of silly and funny.
Yeah.
None of them are like, oh, this has made my life so much easier.
I know.
None of them are super productive or, whatever.
Well, I've heard of people putting NFC tags around their house and they can scan their phone and turn the lights on or something. I guess I've told Siri to turn the lights on. But what's funny is that Kathy Sue changed it because it was too dark what she had before. She would plug it in and it would say, "Please just let me die."
Oh my God. Yeah. That's pretty hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of useful ones. I'm sure they exist. I mean, the fact that I don't even use enough speaking to Siri or voice to text,
I used to. My favorite was I would have my smart light bulbs synced to my Alexa or my Siri or whatever, and I could tell her to turn the lights off without getting out of bed. That was really, really lavish. And that's also the other thing I was thinking now is that, like, how I complained a lot about I'm always on my phone, and that last hour before I go to bed and that first hour after I wake up, it's just gone because I'm just dicking around on my phone doing nothing of value.
2 hours a day.
And I was like
65.
Yeah. Hey Siri, do the math. And I was like, it's just annoying because I got my 8 sleep mattress that I have to use with my phone, and I got the light bulbs that I got to use with my phone. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I have a bedside lamp. I could just use my arm and reach over and turn the light
Yeah.
But like it like completely I already like I
Oh,
was just so used to, my iPhone controlling my lights before I go to bed that I like forgot that I could there's a switch on the lamp,
a
the
way to
physical lamp.
exist.
I'm like, oh my
I think
gosh.
I told you about this. That I saw some tweet. I wish I remember who had tweeted it because I think about it all the time. Um, where he said, I can't charge my cigarette because my girlfriend is charging her book. The future sucks.
uh it's true.
And I'm actually pro having less things on my phone. Like, I'll feel bad about it, but I'll kill a tree and print out my boarding pass at the airport because I don't want to kill my phone battery opening that up and
Yeah.
accessing it and whatever.
And I think there's
And
something still lost. Like I don't like reading on my iPhone. I know people like their Kindles. But I know like when Brittany's doing scripts and stuff, she bought a printer. She's like, dude, it's so much better to have a piece of paper and a pen, read it, know what I'm doing, be able to just draw on it if I want to, or
yeah. Yeah, now all of my scores, all my music is in an iPad and in the cloud. It is nice because it was stacks and stacks of paper,
yeah.
binders, tons of stuff, and now it's
And you can
so that is
find it.
nice.
You can search for stuff a lot easier.
Right. And they do make things where you can notate, but I don't know. Yeah. It's tough. Like my Amazon Fire Stick can turn your phone into the controller so you don't even need a remote, right? But
Yeah.
then I'm changing I'm wasting my battery to then change the television, and also it takes a second to sync.
Yeah. And the Zoom this today asked me if I wanted to use the laptop camera or my iPhone. And I know you can do it. You can use your iPhone as a webcam now.
Oh,
But then I'm like, but then how am I gonna check my text messages?
wait, is this gonna work? Can I switch it right now?
Ooh, I don't know.
It accidentally connects.
Whoa!
Oh wow, it's this
How
way.
filthy!
Oh yeah, freaking Logan Paul sent me some Prime. How annoying.
Nice. Not
Yeah.
sponsored.
No, they're certainly not paying me. Actually, I was like, I want to do a full review of all the flavors in a big old 8-minute video. Can you send me just one of each flavor? And they're like, nope, and sent me a case of one flavor.
Nope. How's the sugar?
Oh, damn it. This is a pride or a Prime ad now. It's 20 calories, so no, 2 grams of sugar because
Two
it
grams of
has
sugar.
some coconut water in it. But
How
honestly, 20
much?
calories is not that much.
2 grams per bottle, or is it one of those ones where it's like 30 servings per bottle?
Oh yeah, it's the whole bottle. Yeah,
I
I
feel
know
like I
Gatorade
feel
does
like it was
that.
like a candy bar that was like that, or like a thing of it was like goldfish. It was goldfish. It was like how many servings per bag? And I'm like, that's not that bad. Or how many the calories and everything wasn't that bad. And then it was like 15 servings per bag or 25 servings per bag. And I'm like, I just ate the whole bag. So
Yep,
that's tough.
you're a family. What
Do
was that? There
you
was a lawsuit against Pirates Booty because their nutrition facts were wrong, and the woman
there's one
sued.
against vitamin water because they were like, this is not healthy in the slightest, and you're calling yourself vitamin water. And I think vitamin water's defense was like, no rational consumer actually thinks this is healthy, and they lost. Yeah.
Yeah, well, no consumers are rational
Do
about that.
you track your workouts on your phone spreadsheet?
No, it's an Evernote.
Mm,
It's not a great system. It's not a spreadsheet. It's just like a list. And I can
mm.
see what I did all of the weeks leading up to it. So it ends up getting into a long list and I'll truncate it into a different list.
Yeah. I was doing that with a spreadsheet, and now I'm using the new app, and the app tells me what I did last time, sets and weight.
That's really all you need to know, right?
It is, but I know
Or
what you
what's
mean.
your
Like I
best?
wanted to know, yeah, what was
Like,
my
are you moving
best and what
up?
did I do?
Yeah.
Last week sucked, but the week before that I was killing it. What was that one? That's when
Hmm.
I really feel.
And
But
sometimes I'll
yeah,
swap out exercises.
it was
So
ugly,
like,
and it didn't look good, and I had to like scroll on my a Google sheet on my phone, and yeah, it didn't like work right, but
Google Sheets on your phone sucks. Yeah.
of course.
But now all your information is trapped in that app, and if you ever leave it, that's such a bummer.
Right. Well, then I think I just do what you said. Like all you really need to know, air quotes, is your last one. So then I'll just take all my information from the last.
Last
I
one
mean,
in
in
your
theory,
PRs.
if I'm progressively overloading, that is my best. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
In
sure. In
theory,
theory, it is,
right?
but I definitely can't squat 190, and I have a list of PRs where I've squatted 190 in the past.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have a PR list too of just that highest lift of or the
No,
highest
I
weight of
don't
every
even know.
lift?
I don't want to know.
Oh, I know.
I know. What you should do is you should take a selfie every time.
I honk my horn. I have a PR horn.
I've never
I
heard
would
it.
play it for you, but oh, okay. Jerk.
Burn.
But what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. See, but then there's like PR for reps, which I should have a spreadsheet for that too, where I've never I've done 130, 135 on a deadlift, but then I just did 135 for two. So technically 135 is not my 1 RM. I should also keep track of the 135 for two. I don't do that.
Right. I see it. Yeah. 225 is not your for reps
Oh, sorry, 235.
for bench.
Deadlift. Shut up. 235 deadlifts. I hit 250 on sumo, but conventional I'm lower.
Nice.
255? I don't know. I'll have to look up.
When I was like 130 pounds, 140 pounds, I cleaned 200.
Whoa.
I clean and it was like a drop clean.
Yeah, full squat. Yeah.
Yeah.
200?
20,
Also,
203,
140? You weighed 60 pounds less?
145. I was in high school.
Were you half your height?
Dude, Brittany was just telling us the other day, we were talking about like growth spurts, and she was like, you realize you had a growth spurt after college, right? And I was like, wait a minute. Because, yeah, when I
Mm-hmm.
was a senior in high school, I was 145. When I was in college, a senior in college, I was 165. And I know this because I was tracking my weight for wrestling. And now I'm 205, you know?
I wonder if it was delayed because you were, limiting calories at that age where you would have had a growth spurt and then your
Yeah,
body caught up.
I've heard about that a lot, actually. I don't think it happens for height because I didn't get any. Luckily, luckily, I've been the same height for a while. Otherwise, I'd be really bummed. 6'7". But yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, they say all this. They say business. They say if you start weightlifting, you're going to stunt your growth, and I'm like, really? Do we believe that?
I don't know.
But
I'm sure I studied my growth with a bunch of other stuff. Cartoons.
my emotional growth for sure, for sure.
Because still think dropping an anvil is the height of comedy.
They'll never get past that.
It's great. I
That
have an
sound
anvil. I wanted one for
or
Christmas as a
no,
kid.
dropping an anvil is almost as good as when the guy runs off a cliff, but he keeps running, but he doesn't fall
Yep.
until he looks down and
Looks
realizes that
down.
he's off the cliff. That's one of my favorites. And because I feel like I've seen one where like he's running holding an anvil. I guess these Looney Tunes writers, they were getting a little greedy, but he's holding the anvil and he's running and he runs off the cliff and he's running on air and then somebody whistles and he turns around and he's like, oh no. And then the anvil drops first and stretches his arms out, which is totally
Okay.
contradictory in so many ways because everything should fall at the same rate or whatever,
Well, cartoon physics.
I thought for years I was like, man, I wish that I could just order stuff from Acme the way those guys did on those cartoons. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, can I? Hold on. Can I just order dynamite, like a stick of dynamite?
And the survey at the end is, what are you using this for? And the drop down is just Roadrunner.
Rate the effectiveness on a 0 to 5 stars. One day.
Uh, So, how are your hands looking?
Hands are looking decent. I get the
Yeah.
middle two. And I don't get the other ones really. Although when we were doing the Murph, I like almost ripped my pinky up and I stopped right away because I didn't want to have a huge blister in the
Yeah.
middle of.
Murph will do it to you. For all of our audio listeners, Max held up his hands and he has some decent calluses right below his fingers.
Decent. Not bad, but not great. How are yours?
Pretty similar.
You
This
take
one's
your
like
ring
got
off when
adhesive
you
on it.
are working out, right?
I do. It
Okay.
depends. If it's just dumbbells, I'll probably leave it on and see how it's all beat up. This is an
You've
aura
heard about
roller.
degloving, right? I know I've told you about it.
Yeah, but how is that? I still think about it. I'm like, how does that work? Because it or is it this way?
It's
Oh, it
that
pulls
way, and it
this
would
way.
just be your finger.
And it pulls the
It
ring
would
off and my
pull
hand.
and the skin off of your ring finger.
Yeah. Oh, all of the finger too?
So
I thought it was like
degloving
the
is
whole
when
hand.
it's this the skin is pulled off the hand and it reveals just a bloody, muscly, disgusting mess. And I think it's from gloves. Like when iron workers would work with gloves and they would melt their hand and they'd pull the glove off and it would pull all their skin off with it.
Ugh.
So degloving is the term for wearing something and then something bad happens, like hot water or hot lava, I don't know,
To your
whatever,
hand.
molten,
But
and then it pulls skin off while you're trying to remove the thing. Degloving with a ring, I think it would only pull the skin off your ring finger as it grabs
if you
whatever
are
grabs
lifting
on
with like a deadlift with a ring finger, huh?
right. If
Yeah,
you like,
for sure.
if you finish the lift and you just dropped it, open your fingers, and then somehow the barbell
The
catches
ring
the
pulled.
ring,
Yeah.
yanks
Okay.
off your skin along with the ring.
Yeah.
It's not a fun Google. Not a fun Google image
I'm not
search.
going to
Is
Google that.
degloving.
Thank you. I'd like to eat later. But I don't wear this when I do anything with a barbell. And it's so weird because Aura claims to be a fitness ring, but the fact that you have to take it off to work out.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
Pretty.
people aren't like me that want to keep it nice. And I'm like, how cool that it's all beat up. And it has this history.
Yeah.
I like that part of it. And not all people would want that.
It's weird. It's weird to have a wearable that you can't wear working out. I guess that's why the Whoop is fabric, right? Or
Yeah.
Brittany gets furious when she works out without her Apple Watch. How do I
Yeah,
even
that's
know
just
what I
funny.
did?
Yeah, it doesn't count. I've heard people say it doesn't count. I didn't track it. My aunt isn't getting an alert.
Yeah.
Me and Denise, we have conversations that are only thumbs up about our workouts.
We've never been closer.
Thank you, Apple. Honestly, it is our only interaction. But when she goes for a walk, I really want to tell her that it's dynamite and with a little
Nice.
dynamite. Oh, I do it to Brittany too. She's like, "You're the only person that responds to Apple workouts."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
She
"Cool. Don't point out how uncool I am. Just appreciate
Yeah.
my responses."
Just bask in it.
Yeah. Which are written by Apple. And some of them are shady.
What do you mean?
Not shady, like throwing shade.
Oh.
The first
so?
one's always positive. The second one's always, I could do better than you. Some sort of weird thing like that.
Competitor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to stoke the competitive fire.
Insulting almost. Yawn or did you even try? Things like that.
That's pretty good for my warm up. Yeah, maybe I should get an Apple Watch. I might do. I might get a new one for Brittany and just take her old one. Although I don't care about none of that stuff. First of all, I like my watch. And I also I don't know. Maybe I will like to track I waffle. I'm a waffler.
I find the tracking pretty wholly useless. I only use it to be a timer between my workouts or between my lifts to make sure that I have 1 minute,
Yeah, it might be good because my timer between my lifts is a full TikTok, and then I'm like, wait a minute, wait a second, it's a 4-hour wait, 35-minute rest between sets.
Yeah, that definitely happens to me because I'll be here at my laptop and then over there lifting. And it is so easy to just get into emails and then, oops,
Yeah,
I've been sitting here forever.
There goes my day. So you keep the Apple Watch on for tracking, sort of.
Yeah.
Do you have special socks? Because you work out barefoot a lot, don't you?
Oh yeah, no, they're not special socks. What? Is there something I'm supposed to be? Oh, I do have special socks.
Oh no.
And I can't think of his name. He has a barefoot shoe company. We had him on. The Kabuki strength dude.
The glove.
Chris Duffin.
Glove socks.
Yeah, Chris Duffin has socks where your toes are out, and then there's a grip on the bottom. What?
Toes are out? You have toeless socks?
Yeah. No. They're not cutoffs. They're like gloves where toes separate.
Sounds like socks. They are. You have fingerless socks. Toeless gloves.
I also have sock shoes, which
but
look
those are just hideous.
So stupid.
Yeah.
They're part shoe, part sock. They're 2 millimeter sole, so even thinner than any barefoot shoe that I've ever come across. And
thinner than your bare foot, thinner than the skin on your foot.
And people have asked me, like, are you wearing socks in a CVS right now? Oh, I actually wore them to catch. We went last.
They don't even ask you. They just put $1 into your coffee cup.
I was drinking that.
Here you go, miss.
I got into the Catch is a really fancy restaurant, I'm sure you know, in LA. And I mean, they definitely have a wardrobe, whatever. Dress code. And the guy at the door was like, "Are those shoes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they're sock shoes, and they're made to emulate bare feet." Well, and then I walked in and they let me in.
And I'm sure that guy was just like, I gotta get a new job.
Yeah, for sure. Or he's probably seen worse. Yeah, I honestly didn't realize it till we walked up to the door. And I thought for sure I wasn't going to get in. No. I was like, can't wait to tell this on the podcast. And then it didn't work out.
Right. And he's like, ma'am, this is LA. I saw a guy wearing, just a t-shirt the other day.
Ma'am, this is LA. I developed those, actually. Thank you for purchasing them. Exactly. Just got them on Amazon.
I'm so happy you're wearing them. Let me take a pic for my Instagram, my corporate Instagram.
Yeah. Corporate Instagram. Yeah.
So you wear fingerless socks. That's wild.
Shut up. I'm going to invent that now. So you don't make fun of me.
Find the URL.
And I'm just frantically cutting the toes off of socks and putting them in shipping containers.
These scissors are too dull. Just rip them.
Just rip them. I'm still just talking to myself. No one's doing this with me.
It's you and your Siri automation.
All right. So you have one that's here. Do you have one that's right below your pointer finger?
I only have,
you don't have a callus there.
I only have middle finger, ring finger. Those are my two main calluses. Sometimes I have a little one. On my pinky. Really?
Yeah.
I have little ones on the outside, but not like clearly
possibly bigger than the others.
Weird. I wonder.
And then I started getting one right here from my hook grip, which I'm really proud of. It's hard to see, but this line is really rough.
The
but
inside of
only
your
this
thumb.
thumb, not my left.
So
Yes, on
you're
the
getting one
inside
of
of my thumb.
weird.
And I don't get it because I do double overhand hook grip on everything from deadlift to clean. And I guess I have an imbalance. Like, how does that happen on one side and not the other?
You turning your hand? Are you gripping too hard? Weird.
Of one side or the other? I don't know. Huh. Do you do double overhand on deadlift?
So I do hex bar deadlift
Oh,
because we don't have a barbell in my gym. I haven't done a
yeah.
regular deadlift. Or I do dumbbell deadlifts, but we only have 50 pounds, so it's kind of like I do them.
Only
I do one legged.
with
Like the
50s?
yeah. Well,
Whoa.
my back foot is on the ground.
Mm.
I don't have
Yeah, like
I don't have good
kickstand.
enough
Yeah.
balance to. But yeah, that one's nice. I like that as a deadlift. And then we have a Smith machine, but it's angled, and so I'm always like, I always feel weird about doing deadlifts that way because if I do
Yeah.
them angled,
So that it comes towards you or away from you?
that's my first problem. And if I think it's towards you because when I'm pulling, I expect my shoulders to go back more than forward. But then the way
That
the
doesn't seem
Smith
right.
machine hooks, it hooks towards that angle. You see what I'm saying? So I
you're
have to
turning
like
away
sort
from
of
you.
I have to
Yeah.
like curl my wrists forward as if I'm like revving up my or no, not revving up a motorcycle.
Reverse
And then I
rev.
have to lean back, and then I like feel like I'm gonna drop it, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is too stupid. But then, so yeah, I think somehow we ended up with a hex bar trap
Nice.
bar. So I've been doing deadlifts like that. But that's a weird one too, because I feel like my hands are like way out to the side
That's a big
comparatively.
one. Yeah, it's not a Chris
It's not
Duffin one.
it's a normal
A
one. It
goofy.
just feels weird. It's just really long time getting used to it. So that's what I do
Yeah.
for I prefer I do either that or I do the one-legged deadlift. And then the other day I started doing deadlifts on the cable machine, which is kind of a funny. I saw, a girl build how to build the booty shelf on TikTok because that's what my
Yes.
my suggested TikTok algorithm. And she
You
was
were putting
doing
shelves up in your house, and then that's what you got.
bird shells. And so I did one on the cable machine, and it actually wasn't that bad. It felt very odd, but it felt like a hamstring, but worked
Yeah.
okay.
I've been doing hamstring curls just with
Oof.
hamstring curl machine. I know. I'm like, what am I doing?
So
I
brutal.
guess.
I do those on. That's on my prescription. I have to get the ankle strap on, and so I do it with the cable machine.
Oh no.
Yeah,
And it
so
takes
I'm
forever
really
to
the
set
hot
up.
girl.
Yeah. Yep.
The hardest part of that is making eye contact with the person across the.
Ugh. And it's a communal ankle strap. That's always weird when you're sharing cloth.
Well, it's mine, and I've never seen
Okay,
anyone
good.
else use it, and I hide it in. But yes, it is communal, for sure.
Oh yeah, of course we're feeling the same way.
It's gross.
Ah. So I've heard you say that Brittany doesn't like calluses. That she wants you to shave them down because they don't feel nice. Is that true? Did I remember incorrectly?
Yeah, she does not love it when I touch her. But I'm like,
I
well, I can just fingertip you, like.
I think it's awesome. It's a sign of how hard you work. Similar to how I like that my ring is all beat up because it
Mhm.
has a history of you can't manufacture that. I mean, I guess you can buy distressed jeans and it looks like you wore them for years.
Yeah, I've heard
You
that
can't
argument too.
fake calluses.
That I'm not attracted to buff people. I'm attracted to people who are dedicated and have, like have the
Fair.
patience to build their body. And I'm like, all right, dude, you could just say you like asses, like it's not,
Yeah.
it's fine. You know what I mean? Chill. But they're like, no, that shows perseverance. And and I'm like, and then on another level, I'm also like, dude, gym bro, There's a reason you're a gym bro, not a PhD bro. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to like overanalyze this too much.
Dr. Marconi.
Yeah,
He's both.
she's.
Uh,
I just read something. This kind of messed up, but it was a medical examiner's report, and the long and short of it is, the guy had a MD, PhD, and a JD. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he was a coroner. He's a medical examiner.
I don't even know what a JD is.
Lawyer, law school, medical school, and then a PhD somehow.
Jeez, if we had time, we all would, right? Well,
Right? That's the
some
dream.
people would just sit around. But if
Yeah.
I had time,
I would do curls.
infinite life. Astronaut ballerina. If you Oh no, this is taking a turn. If you could live forever, if everyone lived forever,
Uh-huh.
we would all just be able to do everything to the highest degree, and it would be
Yeah.
boring.
Except for reproduce.
Yeah, then we'd be screwed.
Then we'd be screwed.
That's a good point. Anyway, do you wear gloves to the gym?
I used to. I used to love it.
Really?
I used to. Well, first of all, I will say fingerless gloves. There's a bunch of different options. You can wear fingerless gloves. You can wear straps.
Straps are different. Straps are
lifting
very
straps.
different.
You can wear what I used to wear
Those
was
gymnastic
batting
things.
gloves. Those gymnastic hook things.
Leather
That's
gymnastic
crazy.
grips.
I used to wear batting gloves to the gym. And I used to love doing that.
Just
So,
one golfing glove.
one golfing glove. Oh, this helps my triceps so much. The reason I used to wear batting gloves is they're really, I don't know if the last time you put them on, but they're really sticky. The whole hand is really sticky.
Well, those receiver gloves for
Yeah, wide
football
receiver
too
gloves.
almost feels like cheating.
So I used to wear those for pull-ups because the pull-up bar at my gym was slippery or too smooth, and my hands would sweat. And so the first thing that would happen is my hands would open before I was.
So instead of chalk, you went gloves.
I think I wasn't allowed to. It was a fancy gym. I wasn't allowed to. There was no chalk. You know, fancy meaning like, look how clean we are, not like, look how awesome we are.
I take chalk to high mat, and I'm the only one.
Yeah, and you're about to get kicked out though.
Yeah, that's true. And Richard put in a bad word about me.
Oh, what a dick. Richard. So but I don't fall. I had no idea you felt so strongly about fingerless gloves. You're a piano player, aren't you?
Yeah.
So what do you do? What do you do in the winters
know
when
that
it's
you
icy
didn't
cold,
know.
but you have to play piano?
I did play the Artful Dodger in Oliver Twist in middle school, and it was my coolest role.
Oh,
and I got to wear fingerless gloves
and
because it's cold and I'm a pickpocket.
and the reviews were like, this play was mid, except for the lone bright spot was Allie's hands, specifically fingers,
mid knuckle down,
fingertips.
So I thought this was a universal thing, and I think it's because in CrossFit you do not wear gloves.
Right. God forbid.
You grow your calluses and you rip them and you shave them and whatever.
You just do it harder. And also fingerless gloves. It's like, I don't need fingerless gloves or instruction. I'm just going to go ahead and do it.
Okay. Are you equating fingerless gloves with being a smart person now?
No, it's just not being a hardo. That's the feeling.
I need a record of how hardo I am. But they do wear those gymnastic strap things. Those leather
hook
gymnastic
things. I don't know what you call them. The hook things.
Yeah, I don't know if there's here. I'm looking it up. There's like a specific name. Leather hand grips. Weightlifting, calisthenic. Yeah, I don't know. Prevents rips and blisters. So you see those even in the CrossFit games, right? They'll wear them. So
yeah, so
that's the cool version of cutoff gloves, I guess. But when I see anyone wearing gloves in the gym, male or female, I'm like, what a loser. I'm just exasperated at how stupid that is.
How loud do you have this thought?
It's like the angry meathead version of a heavy sigh. Ugh. It just feels very 80s. It feels very dorky. It feels like that's their first day. I look at someone that walks in with gloves in the gym and I'm like, hey, good on you for trying out lifting. Which is totally wrong and stupid. And of course I'm not better than them. And who the heck cares?
Gloves and typically a matching set, a matching shirt, shorts, pants set.
I'm like, oh, did you bike here? Also, why are you wearing biking gloves when you bike, you loser?
Ugh, is that a motorcycle helmet? What a loser.
You know what it is? I see middle school me putting them on and feeling cool. And I go, you're not cool. You're a dork.
Right. I see middle school me putting them on, pretending I'm in a Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Pretending I'm street fighting.
I'm totally pro, because then it's a clutch.
You're pro. Wait, you're pro.
And then it's a crutch. I'm pro not using any sort of equipment, because then it's a crutch.
Right.
I mean, you could get even into a weight belt, but then you can lift more with a weight belt. You know, right. You can run further with more cushy shoes.
Yeah.
But then you need that.
Why wear shoes at all? Why wear clothes? You know what I mean?
I started figure skating with no skates.
Yeah. And how many did you do that naked body slide that we got in trouble for the other day? Harvard,
luge with no luge.
They got some. I think it was Harvard hockey, but women's hockey, and they got in trouble for hazing the rookies, and they would make them skate naked and then chest slide on the ice naked, and everyone was like, "Yeah, it wasn't great on the old nipples."
That's my first thought.
And they were like, "But we're not hazing. No, that's just team bonding, building chemistry."
The level of Zamboni ice smoothness is going to have a huge effect on how painful that is.
Yeah, you slipped the Zamboni guy like a 40.
Like, please clean the ice before we have to do this.
You know what? Just crank the heat up while you're at it. Just put it up to 85.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh no, we can't do this ice slide thing. Whoops. Yeah, they got into some trouble.
Yeah, yikes. So yes, how far do you go down the rabbit hole of equipment is just making your body weaker? For gloves, I'm in the camp of strengthen your hands instead.
But what if they look awesome?
To me, they look like you think you look awesome. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true. What about what would be an acceptable, or you think you just have to get your callus, rip them off, get your callus, rip them off, or what would be an acceptable coverage? Like what if we made gloves that just went from your mid palm to your mid finger?
Ooh.
And we made them look like brass knuckles, but they're not, obviously.
We have so many products to launch in this podcast. We got an app, we got toeless socks, and now we have some weird brass knuckle lifting gloves.
Just only covering, yeah.
Okay, if Kim nonstop biked to my house and had fingerless gloves on, I'd be like, oh, those are cool.
Sick, yeah.
Because of her level of ability in cycling, I would respect her decision.
Like somehow that high level cycling the bicycle shorts tan line. You're like, oh, that's so cool.
That's so awesome. I know.
You know what I mean?
I was just thinking about this the other day. The girl that was the number one slot on my tennis team
Nice.
would always wear. I was first doubles, excuse me. So she was like 3 above me. I'm pretty sure she's still playing now and like tennis pro somewhere.
Let's go.
But
Let's
she
go
would
to her
wear-
tournament.
Yeah,
Does she have a 2-letter name?
Christy,
We can paint our
let's go.
chest.
We'll show up. Anyway, she
We
would
need
wear
to
a
start-
sweatband just on her left or her right side so that it wouldn't sweat down onto her racket.
Uh-huh.
But then I saw her at the pool, the Beaver pool after practice, and she still had it on. So she's in full bathing suit with her sweatband. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, I don't want to lose my tan line. So she wears it every time she's out in the sun.
What?
I'm like,
That's
in high
insane.
school, where you should be embarrassed by things like that, she's reveling in it. So proud. I'm like, that's so cool. I look back on that. I'm like, how
That
awesome.
is insane, but also I love it.
Yeah.
Our tennis team, my only memory of the tennis team, and this is how let me devolve a little bit. Let me drag my knuckles on the ground for if you'll indulge me. My favorite little memory tidbit from our high school tennis team was there was one girl who had the biggest boobs I've ever seen. And her tennis was her main sport. And I remember just thinking like, how do you swing a racket? Like, do you just turn your whole body? Like what? And then so I went and watched her play, and she would swing like across her face.
Oh my God.
Like she definitely didn't, swing.
Yeah.
She swung like up and she was good. She was really good.
Sure.
But I remember just thinking like, dude, you're such a meatball for having these thoughts, but also, yeah, let's for sure go watch a tennis.
Let's find out the physics
for
of
sure
all this.
figure it out.
Yeah, totally. But like the stories of those Amazon women that would cut off one boob so they could be better at archery.
Yeah, that's
I wonder
crazy.
if that's actually true.
Well,
Or it's another one of those
were they real?
son of a gun stories.
Son of a gun.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So I would not cut off my calluses. I happily revel in them. I don't find
But you
they're
have
not-
to, if they get too thick, you have to cut them, otherwise they'll rip.
You have to shave them,
Shave them, yeah.
which is also like,
Lord.
well, now you're really adding. I mean, if you really want to get down to the utility, now you're wasting instead of putting gloves on. Done. Now you're wasting time, mental space, thinking about your calluses, going out, getting a thing to shave it down, spending that extra half an hour to shave it. You know what I mean? Now you're wasting time.
But the fact that I'm ready in an apocalypse to do a bunch of pull-ups for some reason, and I don't have gloves, that's worth it to me. I put the time in to have my body prepared to handle things without the need of equipment.
Right. I like your glasses, by the way.
Thank you. Oh, goddamn. And what is that Twilight Zone where this misanthrope finally gets to be alone? Everyone else is dead and he's in a library and just gets to read, and then his glasses break.
And he says, "No, that's not fair. That's not fair." And then it
Great.
zooms out and you're like, "Oh God, I gotta take a shower."
The Black Mirror of old times.
Yeah. It's like Black Mirror, but not mid.
Yeah. Sure. So no tape on the bar. Oh, there was tape on the bar whenever we did Murph. But that's
Mhm.
another CrossFit thing. No, you never tape the bar. Because you need to sort of be able to
Yeah,
swing. They
you
do
need a little bit of
butterfly stuff
slide.
and- yeah.
And the tape reel, especially if you're kipping or doing those butterfly pull-ups or whatever, or trying to horrible muscle up like I tried, it'll really rip your hands up.
Sure.
Something bad.
And never in the Olympics have you seen an Olympic lifter wearing gloves. That's not optimal.
I see gymnasts wearing those hook things.
Sure.
They chalk the hell out of the bar.
Mm-hmm.
They,
Oh yeah, chalk and the hook things. Huh.
Gymnasts, at least women's gymnasts also like they wear long sleeves and no pants, and I'm like,
That is a
wild.
good point.
Okay, the opposite of me, but yeah, for sure.
The reverse max. That's really funny.
Have you seen they do these like split screens and they say like the gold medal winning vault in like 1960 and the gold medal winning vault in 2018 2020 whatever, and they show them side by side. It's unbelievable. That is one of the best. Like, look that one up when you get a second.
Yeah.
The 60 is they do like one somersault,
Sure.
and the
And now that's
2021
the
is
beginner.
like it looks like it looks like somebody shook up a snow globe or something. You know what I mean? It looks like
that makes me feel like cool.
It looks like
Humans
there's
are
a fork in
progressing.
a blender. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. It's insane.
Well, at least we're getting somewhere with something.
I know. I still really like your idea of a zombie apocalypse, but it's just pull-ups. So like the zombies come and get you, and they're like, "All right, let's go," and you got to get to 10, and you're like, "Oh my god!" And then like,
Where are my gloves?
Yeah, and then you're like, "Up, no rep."
You got eaten because your chin wasn't over the bar. Oh, wow. Yeah, that whole apocalypse team too. It's like, what? You see, I'm using my calluses
I
to
see that.
focus the.
The camera cannot ignore that callus.
Yeah, do you go for intelligence? What I guess when you're building an apocalypse team, you got to have the smart person who isn't necessarily also the Stanimal. By the way, I wanted to bring this up. Stanimal, if I saw him wearing lifting gloves, I'd be like, okay, I need to rethink my thoughts on lifting gloves.
Yeah, so you really haven't thought about it. You're taking your cues from other people.
Taking my cues from CrossFit. And then when I do see someone wearing them, it's never someone like Stanimal.
Yeah.
I'm never like, wow, look at that impressive overhead press with hand protection included.
Yeah, with those 4-pound weights on a Soul Cycle bike in the middle of a class.
Yep. Total body. That's Soul Cycle.
Total.
We haven't gotten your opinion on it. You're just listening to me say it's stupid.
What, fingerless gloves? Not only are they awesome, they look awesome. I mean, everybody, Captain America wears them, Captain Marvel wears them, Black Panther or Black Cat wears them.
Oh, really? Yeah. So we're leaving out Artful Dodger.
Art.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason they got big and all the Marvel movies started putting all their superheroes in fingerless gloves, which I thought was really stupid at the time. But then I saw how stupid real gloves looked, and I was like, oh yeah, that looks even worse.
Why do they have to wear gloves?
Well, I think that they wear gloves. You know what I never understood was those gloves with the knuckle holes. Have you seen those?
No.
I don't know if they're like driving gloves or.
Oh, yeah, driving gloves have knuckle holes. What the?
I'm like, is that where I lose all my heat?
Aesthetics?
Is the knuckle?
Yeah. They're vents. What about the Zozo Fit suit? That's cool, where it just has a thumb hole.
I know
that I feel awesome. I'm once again
like a superhero.
My middle school self is going, look how dope I am, and I'm blind to the fact that it's probably still freaking lame.
Look how fast I am.
Yeah, somehow it reduces air drag by having my wrist covered.
That's where I lose all my time, is my fingers keep slamming in the wind. Next episode, we got to talk about the beer mile, by the way. I totally forgot about that.
Oh, did you watch the whole thing?
I watched part of it, yeah. The men's.
Need to.
Corey lost his shoe like 5 seconds in.
What?
Corey lost his shoe. He ran the whole thing one-footed, or one shoe, one sock.
Why wouldn't you just take the other one off?
No time. And he barely missed the world record.
Yeah, we definitely need to cover that. I gotta watch the whole thing.
Yeah, watch the whole thing.
I can't believe you just spoiled it for me.
I just totally forgot about it. Cut this out.
Cut
Cut this out of your
brain.
mind.
Ah!
Black Mirror it.
Okay, well, I want to know, am I misguided here? Because I thought this conversation would just go, yep, gloves are dopey. And so maybe I have it wrong, and CrossFitters also like fingerless gloves.
I think
I don't know where I got this
are,
assumption.
I think a CrossFitter is a bunch of like lemmings thinking. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, totally. I should do. Yeah. Why? Everybody else does it. Got it. Cool. Done. Thinking is over. I think that's a lot of stuff. But you can wear whatever you want to wear. And imagine this. Imagine if somebody thinks they look cool with the gloves on and then they go to the gym. Whereas if without the gloves, they wouldn't have gone. Go for it.
Ooh. Who on earth is like, well, I do want to put those gloves on. Maybe I will work on my body.
I'll tell you who. Everybody from Street Fighter. Everybody from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And when I see girls wearing them, I'm like, I just want to open their minds to the fact that calluses are cool and it's not unfeminine and it's actually something to be proud of. I'm already being sexist here, being like, oh, are you trying to keep your little weighty hands? Like assuming that's why they're wearing them.
Right. But
who knows? Yeah, because their boyfriend is like, I don't like you touching me with just your fingers.
But also, can you put this sunscreen on my back because I can't reach it?
Yeah.
I have to apologize. I thought Ken and Ryu from Street Fighter both wore fingerless gloves. They, in fact, do not wear fingerless gloves. They wear...
Thank you for addressing it. I appreciate you finally coming out and apologizing about this.
They appear to wear, like, knuckleless gloves, at least in the original ones.
What am I even searching? Can you?
Ken and Ryu. Here, I'll just text it to you.
Street Fighter. Oh, yeah, no, what the heck are those? Is it just wraps?
Well, they're like diamond shaped.
This looks like he's wearing boxing gloves. He's got padding on his
knuckles. Yeah, in the later ones, they clearly are wearing boxing gloves. But in the original, they like wear this like diamond shaped. I don't know what this is.
These are just wraps, maybe.
But anyway, yeah. So Ken and Ryu, Captain America definitely wears fingerless gloves.
Yeah.
So I'm saying those are the types of people that I take my cues from. Looks like Madonna's wearing fingerless gloves right here.
Oh yeah, with lace.
Mm-hmm.
God, no wonder middle school me thought it was cool. I don't know what shifted. How did I go from thinking it was so cool to dopey?
You caught in with the wrong crowd.
I have some mittens that pull off to reveal fingerless gloves.
Yep, I had those too. Everybody did. I had, although I preferred the ones with the little piece of whatever on the fingertip so that you can use your phone without taking your gloves off.
Yeah, that is nice. But the mental shift from thinking something is so cool to having an aversion to it is really surprising. Yeah, but this happened culturally with cigarettes, and I'm baffled by it. It really was cool to have a cigarette hanging out of your mouth. That was...
Mm-hmm. It's happened with more than just that. Milk is a big one too.
Oh yeah, we are a post-milk generation for sure.
Big time.
I don't even think they have cow's milk at most of the cafes around me.
Do they even have cows? Well, yeah, no, I think there was a clearly cigarettes were super cool,
and now
they're clearly not. There must have been a concentrated campaign for and against, or pro.
And there have been concentrated campaigns for and against lots of things that failed miserably.
Yeah,
but somehow this worked. I'm impressed.
Cigarettes and fingerless gloves. Those are the two.
They made the shift.
I mean, there's a lot. Rollerblading. What's so
What's
cool.
Wrong? Wait, is it cool or not? Which way did we go? Oh no.
Suddenly it was horrendously uncool.
Where is it now?
Bud Light used to be cool. Now, if you drink it, I guess you're gay.
I can't
So
believe
it's
their sales
even
went
more
down after that.
cool.
I mean, I guess, yeah, that's nuts that they lost a lot of money.
Yeah, I think public sentiment on things is an interesting seatbelts, drinking and driving, guns. There's a lot of stuff.
Was drinking and driving cool?
Drinking and driving was just so well accepted. There was this weird, I think
Whoa.
there's this thread on Twitter that was like, dude, what is this government trying to do? Or maybe it was more about seatbelts actually. The what at least what I'm thinking about was like, I don't care. It's my freedom not to, whether I choose
Wear a
or not to
seatbelt?
choose to put my seatbelt on. This is ridiculous. And it was just like when it became the law to click it, oh I ticket.
Yeah.
Click it, oh I ticket. That was the big
there-
Boston Frit slogan. Hey,
Click
hey,
it or check it.
click it, oh I ticket.
You're so good at that. I remember there's an episode of The Simpsons where Homer was like, I don't wear a seatbelt. They kill more people than they save. Like, I think maybe he was thinking about airbags, which is not even true either. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it was just really funny that he would just present some absolute lie information as
as truth, and then just move on.
evidence for why he's made a bad life decision.
I know. We talk about brilliant.
It's pretty great. And I sit here and laugh at Homer, but then Beavis and Butthead are horrible examples, and I'm like, how dare they put that on television?
How dare they? Oh wait, with my permission. I think there's certain shows that maybe not so much now, but I know that growing up, my dad, my uncles, all my cousins, every funny thing that happened could be traced. You would relate it back to a show. And for me, that show is The Simpsons. For my dad, that show was Star Wars. For my uncle, that show was Seinfeld. There's every funny thing that happened. You're like, yeah, that's like blah blah blah. And I always found it. I wonder if that's still true. And now I think it's like, yeah, it's like that TikTok where,
right, everything's so separated into its own niche, and you have your own feed. It doesn't feel like a communal experience,
mind space or whatever, or thought space.
That is a whole other podcast talking about collectively consuming artwork and how it's changed. Anyway, so we've landed on gloves are dumb unless I'm wrong. Let us know in the comments.
Anyway, what size gloves are you? I'm going to order you some right now.
Get out. I have your chalk here too that you gave me. You just want my hands to be so grippy.
I know. I'm just trying to protect your dainty little woman hands.
You better get me a full suit, a long sleeve tight shirt, and a little spandex shorts that match the gloves.
A full green suit. And I'll just cut the fingertips off the glove.
I'm wearing one fingerless glove. The whole outfit is a fingerless glove. You gotta cut the toes out too.
Toes and fingers. That is probably the worst Pornhub search. You know what I mean?
Ew. All right. If you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts, that helps us out a whole lot. And we'll see you next week.
Fingertips.